Everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. This is Ray in London. I've got Dr. Taher Mahmud with us, a consultant from London. Hello, Taher. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you actually, I'm just, as I mentioned earlier, well done for doing this. I think it's a very worthwhile thing, and I'm sure people are benefiting from the effort and the energy that you're putting into this. So thank you for your efforts.
Oh, thanks, Taher. Thank you very much. So, Taher, we wanted to talk to you about, obviously, you heard about this incident where Christian Eriksen collapsed on the Finland against Denmark match a few days ago. Yeah. And we've heard you've got this ICD devices now for doing. A lot of the fans are interested to find out, what's going to happen, what does this device do, etc. Before we get into that, just give the fans an introduction to yourself, what you do, and what you, how, etc. What you do in London, etc., and your physician roles, etc.
That's very kind. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm a consultant physician, a rheumatologist. I do some general medicine, but my particular interest is osteoporosis and arthritis. And in fact, our big mission is to eradicate osteoporosis from the planet. So brittle bone disease, arthritis, it's very common, and yet people don't really do much to get help. It's very disabling. And fortunately, we have some treatments which can really make a big difference, and we're happy to share some information for people. And you mentioned about the collapse of Christian Eriksen, and obviously it was a very shocking thing for everyone, particularly sort of football fans. He's a great footballer, and thankfully he's recovering and he's getting better. So I was happy to sort of share a few graphics that I've got. From a source that we use for training and education, and it may be of some use for your viewers.
So absolutely, and what we'll do, all our viewers, we'll put Dr. Mahmud's links into the description so you can look at them later. So basically, Dr. Mahmud, just to set the scene, so what we understand is that he had a cardiac arrest and just collapsed, and we understand that can happen to anybody. Is that correct? It just can happen to anybody? Or is it an underlying condition there?
I mean, obviously, I don't have the details of medical history, and I think
with him,
people wouldn't be able to share that sort of information anyway.
Understood.
What we do know that he collapsed, and what we do know there was a rhythm problem. I mean, actually, this may be a good point just to mention how amazing everybody is. So each one of the people you're listening to this, and everybody that they know, is like an awesome bit of biological marvel engineering. There are 37 trillion cells in them, and there are lots of organs, and the heart is a very particular organ and generates the electricity, the muscle function, the blood pumping, which then provides oxygen for the whole body. And so what happened to him, I understand, is that he had a rhythm problem in the heart, which then led to a cardiac arrest, so the heart stopped working. In that, for the heart to work effectively, you have to have a very coordinated set of functions. So the blood has to come in a particular place, it has to go to the next place, and then has to go to the next. There's like a colossal amount of coordination and sort of whole sequence of things that have to happen in a correct way. So when you have a cardiac arrest, you've got electrical activity in the heart, but it's not coordinated. So it's sort of, instead of pushing in a particular pathway, it's going all over the place. So you've got sort of like a chaotic state. So you're not generating enough blood or blood pressure to go to the brain and to go to the vital organs. So we can show you some graphics. But so when you have a cardiac arrest, then obviously you haven't got blood pumping around the body, and you can't maintain any of the functions. So you collapse, you lose consciousness. And so they were able to revive him at the time, and then they put in this device to detect. And then actually, you might want to just put the graphics up, and I can just...
Sure, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'll put the graphic up now. There you go, Doctor.
Yeah, so super. So this is just shows a diagram of the heart. So that this is how the wiring is done. So and the blood flows in a particular pathway. So when the body comes to the heart goes to the lungs, gets the oxygen, then comes back to the heart, and then it goes around the body. So, and these devices are implanted in the heart, and so what they're doing is detecting the electrical activity of the heart, and if they sense that there's abnormal electrical activity, then they would shock the heart back into a normal rhythm.
Okay. So it's like an inbuilt defibrillator, really, is it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. So it's an info. And so, is this a major operation for them to put this into Christian Eriksen?
It's a fairly, invasive process, obviously, because you've got to get the. There's some more graphics I can show you, and we can see. So you can see the mechanics of it. Basically, that you have to introduce electrodes into the heart, which are sensing the electrical activity, and they're connected to the intelligence, which is detecting stuff, and it has to have a battery. So if you go down the graphics, I can show you a couple of other sort of aspects of it. So this is what it might look like if you were to, depict it on the background of a young male. You can see the different chambers of the heart. So if anyone's got time, study the heart or any part of the human biology, and you'd be like astounded. It's really incredible. So we'll just go down the next
one.
Yes, please.
I think that's those are the only two I've got, actually.
Oh, okay. So but that gives you a good clue. So in terms of how big the device is, they're not very big. But you can sort of feel them. They can either be sort of at the front of the chest, or it can be at the side of the chest, and so on. And they they would sort of be there detecting, and then the guys can sort of remote into them and so on, and track.
Okay, so it's all remote. Yeah. So basically, this is what they're going to put into him to help him, so it doesn't happen. What's the chances of this preventing what happened to him a few days ago? Does it make it impossible to happen, or could it still happen again to him?
No, I think, the reliability of these things is more than 90%. Okay. So I'm looking at some figures, and maybe in a portion of patients, you might shock somebody when actually they don't need it, because it's actually, it's because they're basically just going around sensing stuff. And if they think there's too long a delay, or it's not behaving in a way that it would, it's been programmed to, then it would shock. So I think the prognosis is good. If you don't do that, then the prognosis is obviously not so good, because you can have another event. And it just happened very suddenly, and obviously, fortunately, on this occasion, there were people about, and they were able to and support. Now, unfortunately, sometimes the underlying cause for this sort of thing can be a problem with the heart muscle, and it could be a genetic thing. It could be a bunch of other reasons why they might have it. And if people have anything like this happening in their family, then they should go and get a screen. Talk to the GP, get an echo, whatever. There's a bunch of things.
What type of symptoms would people see if they had this type of thing? What type of things should they look out for if any of our viewers are watching and things like that?
I think they may not have any symptoms at all. They might get palpitations or something like that, perhaps. But a lot of the times, the first symptom is when somebody has a cardiac arrest.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you've got people around you who can do CPR and give you a defib and stuff like that.
Yeah, and even then, the chances are, are quite difficult. But the thing to bear in mind that if there's anybody, if you've got in your family history, there's a sudden cardiac death or sudden collapse, then see whether you can get some screening done. And personally, I would advocate that people, have some sort of regular reviews about their own health, regardless of what age they are. Because, we see people of all sorts of ages for different medical conditions.
He's only 29, isn't he, Christian Eriksen? He's a young guy.
But I think for all of your viewers, they should, actually, I know he's like a very, impressive footballer, and is worth a lot of funds and so on. But each one of your viewers is, in my opinion, worth way more than he is to themselves.
Yeah.
And they should invest in themselves, and look at their optimizing their own health and so on, and get screening. So if you have like a £200 car, you go to MOT or you do whatever, and you're spending some time and effort and regularly reviewing it. We should be doing all of that for ourselves as well. So I think people should get a regular checkup regardless of age they are, explore different things, improve their health and so on. So
Doctor, if he actually gets this ICD. We don't know. He may play again, he may not, but that's not up to us to decide. But other than that, will he be able to lead a normal life after he's had this ICD fitted?
Yeah. I think, because the rhythm only happens, on occasion. So if irregularity or this, the lack of sort of blood flow and so on. So that is not happening all the time. It just happens once in a while.
Yep.
If it happens and is corrected, then you're good. So
there's actually a footballer called Daley Blind who plays for Holland, who's actually got one of these ICD fitties and actually plays football still with it in. So you never know. Potentially Christian Eriksen could play again, but we don't know until his doctors have done the full test and see
so
what they say. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think, I mean, people are very resourceful, I'm sure Christian Eriksen, as well as, the other people in this space, they're super fit. They're like really, very, very healthy. So the main thing is obviously to keep, detecting or have this device working. So if there's an issue, then it can just shop. So, it's like having an arrest, but it just sort of deals with it and you're done.
Yeah, so automatically deals with it. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing that we have such these devices.
Yep. Okay, Doctor. Well, listen, that's really great. I know it's sort of late for you now. You've been in a hard day's work, but we really appreciate you giving us time just to give a bit of pointers, some information to our viewers and subscribers about what happened and what the steps moving forward are and anything. I mean, we always encourage everybody to try and learn CPR because you don't know when you might need it, etc. You could save somebody's life. So I think that's a great thing. So is there any final thoughts from your end, Doctor, before we close off?
No, well, I mean, I think anything people can do to understand their own health and their family's health is really valuable. So it's a really good investment about nutrition, exercise, sharing best practice. And we've got some stuff on our website. People are welcome to make use of it.
Yeah, please. What we'll do is we'll put your website in the description so people can go and have a look at your website, and we'll put a link to your charity as well, Doctor. But thank you very much, Dr. Taher Mahmud, physician from London. This is Ray from Spurs 9501 saying please like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you.